You're listening to Skipping Through Theatre, proudly partnered with YouthTV. Hello and welcome back to Skipping Through Theatre, the podcast where we celebrate the magical performance from the unforgettable musicals and the powerful plays to the TV shows we can't stop talking about, and the behind-the-scenes stories that bring it all to life. It's about the laughter, the drama, and the moments that stay with us long after the curtain falls. So settle in and let's dive into today's episode. Hello and welcome back to Skipping Through Theatre. This is another episode from the Skipping Through Theatre studio, coming to you online, the podcast where we take you behind the curtain and chat with people from the world of theatre. I'm Nathan.
And I'm Maddie. Today we are joined by a performer who is currently part of one of the most iconic musicals ever created. He has played, ignore if I might butcher this, Raoul Vicomte de Chagny in the Phantom of the Opera International Tour, and is currently continuing that role in the Phantom of the Opera 40th Anniversary European Tour.
Yes, welcome to Skipping Through Theatre, Daniel Jagusz-Holley. Hope I said that okay.
It's so close to being perfect.
So close.
Thank you guys so much for having me. It's such a pleasure to be here.
Yes, thanks.
Daniel, it's great to have you with us. Before we talk about the Phantom of the Opera, we'd love to hear about your story. What first introduced you to performing?
Well, I didn't really have much of a choice, you see, because my mum was an opera singer and my dad was a production manager backstage. So he did tours. Wow. He did all of Cameron's tours in the 80s and the 90s. And so he put in the original tour of Phantom of the Opera.
We've got a cat joining us.
And so... Hello.
Hello.
Another guest.
Sorry, carry on.
Carry on.
And so we've had so from the age of 4 or 5, I was in theatres and helping my dad drill things into the stages and whatever else. So I always knew that I wanted to be a part of it. They always told me not to do it. My dad was like, "Don't do theatre, don't do theatre, like, whatever you do." I did. And it started really performing wise when my mum started doing Amdrams in my hometown of Cirencester, and then I just started doing that. And from then on, it was go, 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 go. I couldn't wait for the next one. Every year was a new show. Couldn't wait to do a concert. Couldn't wait to get better. And then from then on, I went through primary school, secondary school, and then as soon as I finished secondary school, so I was 16, I went to audition for Italia Conti for a bit of experience, and they ended up giving me a place. And thankfully, and I hope they still do this, the government gave me a Dance and Drama Award to go. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to afford it. So I really hope that is still a thing, because it was so helpful for me. And then from then on, did college, graduated, got an agent, and away I went.
It seems quite straightforward when you're saying that, but I'm sure there's loads of paths that you went through.
Oh, there was so much. Oh, it was horrible, really. I mean, talking about auditioning for Italia Conti, there were 2 local schools that I was going to go to that I auditioned for, and I just auditioned for Conti because I was like, well, I could get some feedback. Maybe when I'm 18, I could go back, and that's the path for a lot of people. And I'm really happy that I'm happy that I went, because now, I'm where I am now. But if I had the choice, I think I probably would have waited until I was 18, because I was from a small town and I went to London at 16 and just got swept up. I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. And, there were the scale of everything was just so overwhelming that really, I think I could have, when I was 18, I think I could have taken that in a little bit easier and focused a little bit more. But saying that, I mean, it's led me here, so I'm pretty happy about where it's gone.
Yeah.
And when you look back at your journey so far, what are some moments that stand out to you?
Oh, that's a really good question. There are a couple of things. Getting my first professional job, that's a big one. When I did, there's a moment in Starlight Express that I'll always remember. There was a moment where you sing a song called Starlight Sequence, and you get lifted up on it's basically a bicycle seat that gets lifted up, and there were drones flying around your head, and I was singing it, and I was like, this is pretty sick. I like this a lot. It's quite an amazing experience. But and obviously, you know, when I heard I was getting bumped up to Raoul, things like that. There were so many positive stories, but actually so many of the ones that I remember are like the first time I forgot my words in an audition. Oof. I will never forget that moment. Or the first time that I went on stage and I cracked, or things like, you know, little things like that nobody really would even care about or notice. But for you, it's such a pivotal moment in your head. And I think they're really positive things as well, because this industry is so about consistency and figuring out how to pull the same performance out of the bag every day. And so doing things like that, realizing what you did wrong to make your brain do that, or not preparing enough or things like that, is a really positive thing to remember. So I'm happy for those moments as well. Not at the time.
But but I think in the end of the day, it all helps shape you as a performer as well. And I think it's really important to experience those things, because then at least you know how to work around it in the future as well.
Absolutely. And getting comfortable doing those things. You know, Starlight was a big one, because I don't remember ever really falling on stage before, like really falling over and sort of, you know, onto my back and being like, what do I do? I'm on stage, you know. And in Starlight, people fall over all the time. So it was it was a really great lesson to get used to the fact that it's live theatre, things go wrong, and you can brush it off and just go, ha ha ha, that was kind of funny, and we'll fix it for next time, you know, instead of taking on that pressure.
Yeah.
Was there a point in time when you realised theatre wasn't just something you enjoyed, but something you wanted to make your career?
Yeah. When I think I was probably about 13 or 14, I actually really wanted to be a chef. I loved food and I loved cooking as a job.
Oh, I don't blame you.
And I realize now it's more for the eating part of it than the cooking.
Yeah.
But
that'd be me too.
Yeah, definitely.
Obsessed with it. I was obsessed with it. But so there was a period of my life where I was sort of going, this is my hobby and I love it, but I really like to go do this. And I think then, you know, I had a year of sort of thinking I was going to be a chef, really. And then something clicked. I think I went to go see a show. I can't remember what the show was. Sorry. It was, I'll tell you what it was. It was Sweeney Todd. I went to go watch Sweeney Todd. And I just remember being like, I need to be up there doing this. I need to be singing this. I need to be performing this. And from then on, that was it. I went, I'm going to be an actor, and that's the end of it. So not a chef, but still love food. So that's positive.
Yeah.
Like my dad, who wants to be a rock star, but he never turned out to be one. Right, let's talk about...
Behind the camera as well.
Sorry.
It happens. He's still a rock star.
Yeah.
Oi. Let's talk about Raoul. Raoul, I think, yeah.
Yes.
You're playing a character that has been loved by audiences for decades. What was your first reaction when you found out you would be stepping into the role?
Oh, it was absolute joy, because for most of my career I'd been the first cover, and so being able to cover the role, first of all, know the show like the back of my hand, and then be asked to take over was really special, and something that doesn't happen to you very often in this industry, because a lot of the time you're moving from show to show. So it's lovely to be asked back and to be given the responsibility, you know, like you've done a good job and had a promotion. That was a really nice feeling. But also it's such an interesting role, and it's one that I've loved watching for a long, long time. And I was very lucky in my production that it's not the replica. Not that I don't want to do the replica, and the replica is beautiful, but we got the opportunity to create something new and something different, and have my own spin on it, which was an absolute privilege and a joy. So I was elated when I got the news, and then the terror set in, and I went, "Oh my God, I need to do this every day, and I need to learn it." You know, it's pressure, but in a really beautiful way.
Yeah.
It really affirmed my love of it.
And exciting, I'd say, but especially because you get to do this quite a bit for like a good year and a bit. How long did you do it for?
Well, unfortunately, I because it was the end of a tour, so well, it was a new section of a tour, but we had done 2 years of a tour already, and so I got to play the role for 2.5 months.
Okay,
that's still good though.
Yeah,
that's still good,
it's
especially
still good
because
that
you're
you're
doing it quite a lot.
It was fantastic, and you know, being on tour is very different than doing something in town, for example, because you really get into the swing of it in town. You go to work, you go home, you have all your things, but on tour, you suddenly become this family, you know, and you're in all these amazing places. And our last venue was basically a big beach club. So, you know, we all got to hang out on the beach. It was brilliant. It was brilliant. And a lovely way to say goodbye to it. And it's it was actually a really beautiful thing to be able to do it for a finite amount of time, because I never lost any excitement for it or any joy whatsoever, which is quite lucky, I think.
Yeah.
He is often seen as a person caught in between love, danger, and loyalty in the story. How do you explore who he is as a character?
So with Raoul, the first thing I started doing was I started looking at the time period, because men in, you know, the late 1800s were very different to men now.
Yeah.
And so getting the setting of that world was really important to me. And then once I had figured out how he would be as a Vicomte, which is a Viscount, so you're close to royalty, really. You are lord. You're a lord. And so in that time, he would have been able to do pretty much whatever he wanted. And that really changes how you see the dynamic of him with the Phantom, because the Phantom has had absolutely nothing, and he's been locked away, and he's watched people like Raoul, you know, for the entirety of his life, and he's basically making it up as he goes along. And so going from that basis of Raoul, it really changed the way that I saw the character, because he is caught in the love triangle, absolutely. And really, he's kind of on the losing foot all the time. He's constantly getting degraded and embarrassed and left out. And so when you put that 1800s, 1900s spin on it, that's a really big deal for someone of his stature. And so it was an amazing thing to be able to explore how hurt and embarrassed he could get, and how he has to learn humility. And that was the sort of leading phrase for me. My big super objective was, I have to, by the end of this, learn some humility and learn how to put somebody else first.
Yeah. Now, what is your favourite thing about playing Raoul?
It's too hard. I love the costumes. Wearing a three-piece suit, you know, one of those tailcoats, really does make you feel...
It must get warm, though.
Great. It was so
warm. It must get really warm on
lights.
stage, though.
Yeah, it was really hot. And when, you know, the heat now, it was boiling. Yeah. However, I can't complain, because all of the female ensemble were in the biggest dresses you've ever seen. Christine was wearing these massive ball gowns, Carlotta, whoever. I mean, and the Phantom was in a big black coat the whole show.
Yeah.
So I can't really complain. And at the end of the show, I get to take off my jacket and my bits and roll my sleeves up and undo my buttons. So I had a
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
bit of time. So the costumes were a brilliant part of it. It really does put you in the world. But also, I think what I said before, exploring that character and being able to bring it to life in terms of and to throughout the weeks finding those new little nuances with your co-stars, Georgia Wilkinson and Maria Connolly, who were my Christines, were amazing. And I was performing with an alternate as well for 2 shows of the week. So we got to play and find different things every single time we went on stage. And that was something that was really beautiful. And then the last thing was singing the rep. It's so rare that people write baritones like that. So so for me to be able to actually sing a baritone role and not have to think about placing everything right up here was a real privilege.
Yeah. Are there any details or moments in this performance that you especially enjoyed bringing to life?
Details. Well, yes. There were a couple of things really. I loved the final trio where basically in our production the Phantom gets the rope and pulls it around Raoul's neck. And you have to, as Raoul, you have to hold yourself there and you have to be choking for the entirety of the last scene. This is going to sound a bit strange when I say it, but it was really interesting trying to figure out how to make that interesting because you're there for like 4 or 5 minutes going,
Yeah.
and you have to sing through that as well. And so that was a detail that I really played with. I was sort of pretending to pass out a little bit and then waking myself back up, and the noises and where I would breathe to then the silent moments, it would seem like I couldn't breathe, and all that sort of stuff. And by the end of the scene, I was nearly passing out every day.
Gosh.
But that was such a fun thing to actually play with. So that was a little detail, but also the little details I love are the things that the audience would never see. For example, when I proposed to Christine, by the end of the tour, the engagement ring box was kind of falling apart. So the back of it was just gaffer tape, and we were doing that. But the audience would never notice. But every single time I saw it, I went, gaffer tape. So little things like that. I love little things like that because it's real, because that's how we get the show done.
Yeah.
And the Phantom of the Opera has such a huge fan base around the world. What is it like performing a show that has meant so much to many people?
It's amazing, really, because I don't know about other performers. I never really expect a fan base or or loads of adulation, really. I know that people want to come and see the show. They enjoy the show. They appreciate what we do. But it's not something I've ever really thought about. It's being the stardom of it, really. I know that there are many people who have a big fan base, and it's fantastic. But to have the show have its fan base is really special, instead of having somebody with a fan base that brings people to the show. Not that isn't special in its own way, but people love this show. And even last year, I went to Comic-Con, the comic book festival, right? People dress up. I saw at least 7 Christines while I was there.
Wow.
And musical theatre is its own niche. You don't think of it as this. It's a massive industry, but you don't think of it as this huge thing. People from all over the place are desperate for the story of Phantom of the Opera, and so that was very, very special. Also, there were some amazing people on Instagram, and I won't name names, but there were fan accounts and things, and they sometimes they know news about shows before we do. You know, they're incredibly thorough, and
Yeah.
it's very much appreciated. I could say the same about you two. You know, with this sort of stuff, it's a wonderful thing for the community, I think.
Yeah. The show has such a unique atmosphere with the music, like you said, the costumes to the
Yes.
story. What do you think makes it connect? Oh, sorry. What do you think makes it continue to connect with the audience?
Well, I think that a couple of things. Number one is that the heart of the story is so special because it's not a boy meets girl story. It's not a typical love story, and it's not even really a typical musical in terms of the way that it is written. Um,
Mm.
the way that it is written is about pain and suffering, and then learning from that and moving forwards. And I think that that is something that everybody can relate to. Most people can relate to the Phantom in some way. He's a beautifully written character, and a lot of people can
Yeah.
relate to Christine as well. Um, and I think and I'm sure a lot of guys can relate to Raoul too. You know, there's something in there for everybody. It's funny, it's heartfelt, it's heartbreaking at times. There's a
Yeah.
lot.
Very
There's a
emotional.
lot in it. It's incredibly emotional, but it's drawing you in. And the second reason I'm going to say that I think it's so special is because I think you can really tell that Andrew Lloyd Webber, when he was writing it, you can tell that this one he was really writing from his heart.
Yeah.
And I think that that is really important because
Mhm.
there's some of the music in it is exceptional. It's exceptionally written.
It's beautiful.
It's so beautiful, and you know, we all feel it on stage, but the audience, even when you've heard it 1,000 times or seen it 1,000 times, you still get that feeling. You get that empathy for the Phantom. You feel for him, and it's really interesting, you know, being Raoul, coming back to that, because as a character, he is kind of the one that people would expect Christine to go with, you know? But in our heart, we all really kind of want her to be with the Phantom for some reason, even though he's kind of a murderer and he's a bit bad and whatever.
Yeah.
We all kind of want her
Yeah.
to be with the Phantom in some way. And I think that that is, you know, something to do with human nature that we just can't explain, is that empathy. And I think that's one of the reasons why it makes it so special.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think is the magic of Phantom of the Opera?
Oh, I mean, I said a couple of things in the last question, I think. I'm sorry
Yeah.
for that. I think the fact that it's written from the heart is something quite magical. But I will
Yeah,
say as
definitely.
well, there's a magic to the fact that it's a big production. It's a big sung through production, which is quite
Yeah.
unique now. You don't get many of those anymore. It's a big cast. And it's, you know, in our production and productions around the world, I'm sure it's live conducted, so it's not a keys conductor. It's nothing wrong with the keys conductor whatsoever, but there's something quite special about the fact that it's an orchestra being conducted. It's all about being totally connected throughout every single person on the stage, in the pit, in the crew. And because it's such a massive show, you really need to be connected and tight with everyone on the, you know, everyone in the building. So I think that that is something for me as a performer is really beautiful to be a part of. And then also I think the audience can feel that.
Yeah. Like we were saying about how you've been touring, what would you consider the most exciting part of your tour?
Oh, I think, well, first of all, I mean, it's amazing to go away to so many places. Sorry, you can see the cogs turning then, can you? It's amazing going away to different places. So being a part of bringing something to a place that has never seen the show or never really had a big show like that, is really quite special for us as well as them. I hope, and also, you know, doing things like the part of the tour that I did, and a lot of the venues that we did were not theaters; they were arenas. So you're performing to like 3,500 people a night, which, you know, is the most incredible experience to be able to bring it to that many people for a start, but also then looking out at the end and going, 95% of these people have never seen this show.
Yeah.
And they connected with it, and it's their second language, you know. So some of the venues, we had screens up and we had subtitles for them as well.
Yeah.
And it never felt disconnected. They always they always got it. They always laughed when they were supposed to laugh. They always cried when they were supposed to cry. I mean, it's amazing, really. So the music really goes over all of that, you know, language barrier and everything.
Yeah.
So I think that was probably the most special part about performing it.
We're now going to go to our quick fire round.
Yes.
So we're going to move on to our quick fire round. So yes.
We'll do a tiny countdown and then we'll start.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's do this.
Right. Okay. Now let me go.
Prepare yourself. Prepare yourself.
Prepare.
Yeah.
Okay. Are we ready? Let's go, Maddie.
Nice.
A musical you could watch again and again.
Oh, it's Sweeney Todd.
Yes.
A dream role you'd love to take on.
Sweeney Todd.
Your favourite theatre memory so far?
Drilling the cats. Oh goodness me! It's hard quick fire, isn't it? Drilling the cats orchestra pit with my dad when I was 5.
Oh. One word to describe performing live.
Oh. Rewarding.
Yes.
Yes, definitely.
Daniel, thank you so much for joining us on Skipping Through Theatre. It's been brilliant hearing about your journey and your experiences with the Phantom of the Opera and what it's like bringing Raoul to life.
Yes. Thank you to everyone watching and listening, and make sure you follow Skipping Through Theatre on social media and your favourite streaming platform for more theatre conversations. And also, don't forget to sign up to our mailing list to receive email notifications and exclusive content. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
You're listening to Skipping Through Theatre, proudly partnered with YouthTV.